Here's what is left of your gear. Those engravings on your medallion are unusual. I've never seen anything like them.
Bite marks. Those are animal bites on the mercenary's arm.
What? Oh no. Step back. Don't touch me. Are you mad? Those animals carry the plague. The plague is raging through the island. By the fates, you have it. Anyone who is infected with it is transformed into a murderous creature. Animals carry the disease in their bite, and you have been bitten. It is only a matter of time now. Why would I create such a nightmare? Of course it's true. They say the dark wizards created the disease to lay waste to Valdis' enemies. They are Valdis' greatest weapons. They're hundreds of years old and beyond evil. Long ago, they turned to a form of magic so evil, it destroys those who use it. They are slowly dying. It is said that they even ingest Voldane to keep the black magic at bay, which tortures them. They are horrible creatures, and they use their own suffering to fuel the wicked magic they cast. It is no tale, for you live it. Please, you must leave before you infect. Many have hoped that. Some believe the stories about the healing properties of the sacred waters within the Elven Shrine. Others accept their fate and enter the exile colony. I will not quench the hope that burns in your breast, but be aware that many have tried to reach the shrine, and none have returned. Travel past the Morden Towers until you reach the Elven Ruins. You'll find the shrine there. There used to be a shorter route, but became overrun with the Haku, and we had to block it off. Take this vial. Use it to hold the Elven waters if you reach the shrine. Here are your things. Goodbye. I weep for your fate.
I have heard a tale or two in my time and can recite many stories of old. I am full of years, but my memory is still youthful. The island is quite large and completely covered by jungle. There are many caves, most inhabited by various dangerous creatures. There is a much larger land to the northeast where the elves and humans live. They call it Arana. Greyland's trees give us nuts and fruit, and its rivers give us water. We were happy and content here until Valdis and his armies came to harass us. We Dryads have lived on this island for many generations. The elves tell us that we were created during an ancient magical storm of sorts long ago. I do not know if that is true, but they also tell us that much of the mainland is a desert. We must live among the trees, so perhaps our mystical friends are correct. My sister Dryads trade with the elves and men. Our carvings and weavings are in demand, and we receive in return objects of metal and magical texts. Of late, they have been teaching us smithing, a dangerous art for those who live in a city of trees. The island is quite large and completely covered by jungle. There are many caves. Greyland's trees give us nuts, and Ireland was built in the time of my mother's mother. Before that, our people lived among the ancient ruins in the jungle. Something was causing the jungle creatures to become more dangerous, so we sought to build homes in the trees where we could be safe. Our first attempts were disastrous, but soon the elves came to us and offered their help. We chose this location because it is near a sacred water source, and it is near the Temple of the Coast, which the elves say is important. The temple was built long ago to hold an ancient artifact of great power. The elves have an artifact that is much like it. We tried our best to protect it, but Valdis was too strong for us. It is in his possession now. The Haku have always been troublesome. Occasionally they steal our food and throw rocks at our children. And one time they even set fire to Ireland, although that may have been accidental. Mostly, they keep to the deep jungle and play their drums in the bowels of the darkest caves. Lately, they have become more bloodthirsty and have begun openly attacking our outposts. They never had the courage to do this before. I think that someone is goading them into it. Elven scholars used to come to our island in great numbers to study the ruins. They believed they were built by an elven tribe that lived on Greyland long ago. Of course, now that no one can go into the jungle without an armed escort, many of them have stopped coming. A few of them didn't want us to use catapults against the Morden armies because we might hit something important in the shrine. I told them that my city and my people are more important than a pile of mossy rocks stacked by some long-forgotten elf. They were very upset when Valdis destroyed the Temple of the Coast, but I reminded them that if they had lent a few more soldiers to help defend it, the tragedy might not have happened. The elves seem to be more concerned with the past than the present. A Scath once came to Irulan. He wore a strange golden helm, but I could see his beady eyes within. He wanted to inspect the artifact in the Temple of the Coast to see if it was genuine. When I told him we didn't even know what it was, he said, "It is better so." I took him to see it. The instant he laid eyes upon it, his fur stood all on end. It looked rather funny. "This is not what I was looking for," he said. "This object is far more powerful than that I am seeking. Guard it well and keep it a secret, for if those with power hear that you have it, your fate will be a dark one." He went back to the mainland soon after that. I wonder what he was looking for. The elves tell us that Arana is many times larger than Greyland, and that the whole continent is a wasteland except for the forests they inhabit. The Azunite Desert is the part of Arana that is closest to Greyland, and it is a dusty place of thorns and rocks. Our human friends come from there. The humans tell us that it was once part of the Empire of Stars and is filled with old Imperial roads. They use these roads for travel where they can, but many of them have worn away or were destroyed in the catastrophic event the elves call Terminal. The desert is also home to the Scath and many other creatures, mostly hostile. The humans have built many fortresses in the desert. Windstone is one of these. They say that it is constructed within a narrow canyon, with defenses tunneled into the canyon's walls, and a temple to their goddess of war, Ziria, at the canyon's end. They claim that the fortress is completely impregnable. The elves tell us that Arana is many times larger than Greyland. The humans tell us that it was once part of the Empire of Stars and is filled with old Imperial roads. They use these roads for travel where they can, but many of our human friends claim to be descended from citizens of the Empire of Stars. Their ancestors built great cities and fortresses whose ruins can be found all across the desert. The elves, however, believe that the humans now inhabiting the desert come from Lascanza in the north. They say that the Empire of Stars was utterly destroyed in the Terminar, which the humans call the War of Legions. The elves tell me that this is a deceptive name, and that the Empire's legions had nothing to do with Terminar. I cannot say for certain. Neither I nor any of my mother's mothers were there to see it.
Morden weapons seem to have been designed to inflict painful, festering wounds. I only wish their weaponsmiths were less skilled in their deadly work.
Go away, you. I have no wish to acquire a wretched jungle illness.
I will sell you a pet, but only because when you die of the plague, it will be able to find its own way back. Business may be slow, but yours I don't need. If you want, I'll answer that, but keep your distance. Pets come from other worlds. They can be brought here and tamed when a nature mage opens a rift that temporarily connects our world to theirs. It is a dangerous business, this, and no wise nature mage would do so alone, lest the creature that wanders through attack the caster. Put that down, stop touching things, or get out! A rift is a gate to another world through which living things may pass. Some nature mages know the locations of some rifts and even use them to supply merchants such as myself with stock. But as I said, it is a risky business. Some creatures can be much more powerful than others. You are getting too close. Stand back. I have only ever heard of the most powerful nature mages mastering the pet trade. Rift magic is dangerous both to our world and the one on the other side. In fact, a nature mage who supplies some of my stock is looking for an assistant. It's too dangerous to handle alone. They are tamed either by the nature mages who open the rift, or by one such as myself. It's a dangerous business, but with the right skills, it can be done. You are getting too close. Stand back. I have only ever heard of the most powerful nature mages. I'll answer that, but put that down. You are getting too close. Stand back. Alas, nothing unusual, sickly one. But I've been trying to acquire some dire wolves lately, ever since I discovered they existed. What a magnificent addition to my shop they would be. Have you heard of them? I once thought of them as mere legend, until I came upon a group of mages in the forest trying to tame some Null beasts. A profitable business, mind you. Well, suddenly a large blue wolf emerged through the mages' rift. Before the mages could react, one of them was dead, and the Null beasts had all been torn to ribbons. The remaining mages destroyed it, but it was a fierce and costly battle. There is a noteworthy mage living here in Iruland named Rokar. He knows how to obtain a dire wolf, but I have not had time to visit him. Track him down and tell him that I am interested in obtaining a direwolf specimen for my shop. If you don't run off, I'll make it worth your while. Excellent. Rokar can often be found talking with historian Erisu in the Great Hall.
Greetings, stranger. Do I detect the accent of Amanlu in your speech? I visited there once in happier times. It was my poor daughter's favorite place. No, my daughter is lost to me. Killed by those foul Morden beasts when they took the Temple of the Coast. Perhaps. My daughter was young when we last visited the elves' fair town of Amanlu. She pestered me for days for one of those curiosities their craftsmen make. But we were poor, and I refused. Now that she is gone, I would give anything to grant her wish, even if she will never see it. Aye, something to remember Amanlu by. I do not have much to reimburse you with, but perhaps you will find this of use, for bartering purposes. I make these dolls for a living, though there have been so few children lately that they barely support me. You have my thanks. When next you are in Amanlu, be on the lookout for some sort of memorabilia.
You may have traveled far, but I will wager you have not encountered the kind of terrible beasts that I have dealt with. Ah, the direwolf. A rare and exotic creature. They are similar to mundane wolves, but are distinguished by their bright blue fur. They are many times more powerful and aggressive as well. In their natural environment, they hunt Null beasts, which is how they were first discovered. When mages open rifts to capture Null beasts for taming, a direwolf occasionally wanders through, much to everyone's discomfort. Oh, is that all? My, she doesn't expect much. Well, a test to my abilities is always welcome. But I will need accompaniment. There will be Null beasts to contend with, as well as Morden Growl mages, who often patrol the rift locations. If that doesn't frighten you, join me, and I'll attempt it. What say you? Good. Head out the south gate. Follow the path as if you were going to the exile colony. Just past the ruined amphitheater, leave the path and go to the riverside to the north. Cross the footbridge and enter the small cave on the other side. There is a short tunnel. Go through it. On the other side, the rift will be directly in front of you. Take care of the Morden in the area, and I will meet you there.
I would like to be alone if you do not mind. This establishment is no place for victims of the plague. Please leave quickly.
My story is both long and sad. You'll probably want to sit down and take out a hanky. Many years ago, I was captain of a fine ship. But now, one day, my ship was wrecked in a brutal storm. I was washed ashore, unconscious. When I came to... Right. As I was saying, when I came to, there was a beautiful woman standing over me. There was something a little odd about her, though. You'll never believe this part. This is the part no one ever believes. As I was saying, there was this beautiful woman, and she was... she was green and leafy. I had seen many strange things in my time, but none so strange as that, let me tell you. Well, except maybe for the... Well, you see, when I was your age, before I was captain of that ship, of course, I was a soldier. I was stationed at Windstone Fortress, which was built by the ancient Azanites, way back before the... what was I talking about again? Oh, of course. As I was saying, my job was to sweep the cloister in the Temple of Ziria at the heart of the fortress. So one day I was sweeping and I stubbed my toe. You'll never guess what I stubbed it on. We wouldn't have let senile old men into the temple, no. It was a green stone carved with the ancient Azanite symbol for the Tree of Life. There was a socket in the center of the room that looked as if the stone would fit inside it. But I took a nap instead of trying it. I bet if I had, though, it would have opened a secret door or something. There, now, wasn't that riveting? I believe it may be part of some sort of puzzle. You know, they were keen on that sort of thing back in the temple's heyday. If you could investigate that for me, it would put my mind at rest. Thank you, friend. The Temple of Ziria can be found deep within Windstone Fortress.
You don't appear to have any disease symptoms. If those dryads are as poor with medicine as they are with history, you probably have nothing to worry about.
There are no decent recruits to be found here. And what's worse, while my own squadron finds glory and riches in battle, Soldier Jordan is languishing in this backwater town seeking phantoms. Pshaw. If that wasn't enough, these leafheads don't even eat decently, let alone fight right. I'd give near anything to taste red meat again. The bloodier, the better. That is a statuette of Ziria. I've had time enough on my hands to carve a few more of them. These sap bloods may not be able to tell Ziria from Elendil, but my art will fetch a fair price when I rejoin my unit. I'd be willing to give that statue to you in exchange for some fresh meat. This dryad diet of leaves and insects does not agree with me at all.
What a tragedy to see a fine young person such as yourself struck down at your prime. If only you had my special salve, perhaps you would have had a chance. Alas, I will enchant an item for you if you wish, though you'll never live to use it. First, you must understand that becoming a master enchantress is not easy. One must spend many years studying the arts of herbalism and alchemy. If one did not know the properties of every reagent and the results of their combination, why, terrible things could happen. I have even seen careless apprentices blow themselves up. For one of my caliber, even the most difficult of tinctures and salves are possible. There is one in particular that is my specialty. It grants a fair amount of life recovery. I am told it is quite useful if you are interested. My customers call it Lumilla's salve, and it can be applied to enchantable armor for fighters and rangers, or jewelry of your preference. I would be happy to make some if you bring me the ingredients. 4 nettle clusters. They can be found in the jungle, if you keep your eyes open.
Have you discovered the steps for crafting that armor? Duma has been giving me the looks. I'm afraid she has realized that I've forgotten one of the most important crafting recipes. That is good news indeed. If I don't get started soon, I'll never be done in time. Dryad armor is tricky stuff to make on a forge. Quietly now. Tell me what the tome said. That rings true. Please wait a moment while I make the armor. Excuse me, Craftmistress Sen. The Dryad armor is completed just as you requested.
This is indeed fine work, telling you. Excellent. You may keep that suit for yourself as a reward for a job well done.
My thanks. Craftmistress Sen seemed almost happy with my work for once, and it's thanks to your sleuthing. Please, take this armor as a gift for your escape.
You free tree lady! Run now! Warn my father! Run! You are High Priest's son? Traitor! All Haku die if Usurper win! Usurper fool to trust Morden! Morden kill Haku! Haku must help tree ladies! My father helped tree ladies! I go find my father!
Ew. Did you see that? Haran could not have been lying, else why would he have come to my defense like that? I thank you for arriving when you did, stranger. This place is not safe for us to linger. Let us return to Arielon before the other Haku return in force. I thank you for coming to my aid. I am not sure if Haran could have defeated so many Haku single-handedly, but your presence seemed to scare them off in time. Yes, he was the one who tried to save me from the usurper's knife when you arrived. They were planning to sacrifice me to their gods. I've been trying to convince my mother of what happened, but she is being stubborn again and will not listen.
My thanks. Your bravery has saved my daughter. I cannot think of what might have happened had you not found her when you did. May all Haku rot forever. Please, take this with my gratitude. Tansy has told me of her terrible time with the Haku. If it happened as she said, and one attacked another, then now is the time to strike. The time to defeat the Haku is now. If they are fighting amongst themselves, they will be distracted and open to attack.
Wait, Mother, you are mistaken. Brave stranger, it is not as my mother believes. I was speaking to the one you saw when you arrived. His name is Haran, and you will want to hear what he has said before you obey my mother's wishes. Haran is the son of the Haku High Priest. His father was overthrown by a Haku usurper priest, the very one who appeared in the cave after Haran freed me. Haran's father had always encouraged the Haku to live in peace with us, but the usurper is allied with the Morden. We need to help Haran's father restore peace before it's too late. He is hiding in a cave in the jungle.
Tansy, that is enough! Child, you have had a great trauma. You must rest now, and leave these worrying matters to your elders. You must seek out this Hran and the Haku High Priest and defeat them. The sooner the treacherous Haku are gone from the island, the sooner I can be at peace. Good. If Tansy has not imagined all of this, you will surely find this Hran creature without too much difficulty. There are not so many caves in the southern jungle, but be on your guard all the same.
Well, stranger, it seems that you've been granted your freedom. You may pass. What? Why would you want... Zyria, have mercy. Yes, the shrine is at the top of the ridge. Go now, and you may take any supplies you need. Just go quickly.
It's you. How can it be? Then the cure works. How did it feel when you drank the waters? How did they taste? Then you are immune. The elven waters have transformed you against all hope. And you saved us as well. There are so many dryads in the exile colony. Tell me it is not so. Dozens of infected sisters are living in exile. That will not be fast enough to save the infected. Oh, to come so close to the cure only to have it snatched away. Fate is cruel this day. Then you must share that water with the exile colony. The exiles never lifted a finger against you. They need you now. Imagine their suffering. You won't just stand by and let them die, will you?